Hi, I'm Mrs. Pasquan, the art teacher from the Martha Jones School. And at my house, we've been a little bit obsessed with bubbles lately. You say bubbles?
Bubble.
Bubbles. Except that I'm not talking about the bubbles you buy at the store. I'm talking about the homemade solution that lets you make really large bubbles. When I first started looking on the internet, I was surprised by how many different recipes there are. But basically, they all start with dish soap and water, and then they all have something added to them that makes the bubbles stronger and keeps them from dehydrating too fast. That additive, it might be glycerin, it might be corn syrup. Did you know you can also use cough syrup? Because cough syrup usually has glycerin in it. I thought that one was pretty funny. And then, of course, there's the more complicated ones. I tried several different recipes, and the good news is they all work. Some of them are a little bit more colorful, some of them last a little bit longer, but basically they all work. If you really end up getting into it, it might be worth trying the more complicated recipe that uses the guar gum. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it makes these bubbles that are just so incredibly colorful and strong. Now, in order to play with the bubbles, you're going to need a giant bubble wand. So that's what I'm going to show you here. And then the list of recipes I'm just going to put in an attachment, and you can just pick the one that has the ingredients that you already have at home. For this project, you're going to need some wooden dowels, some cotton rope, some washers. The heavier, the better. And I also use some kitchen twine. For the cotton rope, you want it to be pretty thick because you want it to absorb as much of the solution as possible. And right here, you're going to notice that I'm actually pulling the core out. A lot of times the cotton rope has a nylon core. So if you remove that core, your rope is going to be a little bit more fluffy and it's going to hold more of the liquid. The demonstration I'm doing right now is 6 feet of rope, and I'm going to tie it on to two 12-inch wooden dowels. For the videos, most of them I'm actually using 3-foot wooden dowels and 12 feet of rope. The first thing I did was I put the ends of the rope together and I tied a overhand knot. Just make a loop, stick the ends through the loop, but make sure the ends are about 5 inches long because you're going to put a few washers on each side and then you're going to need to tie that string back together. When you're ready to tie it back together, this time I'm going to use a square knot. So you just crisscross the ends, put one of them through the loop and pull. Do it a second time, crisscross the ends, put one of them through the loop and pull. And if you're worried about your knot feeling a little bit too loose, you can always use a few drops of nail polish. Nail polish dries basically waterproof. It's better than trying to use white glue on there. So now the loop of your bubble wand is actually going to be more of a triangle. And I want you to notice that two sides of the triangle, the sides that are connected to the washers, those are a bit longer than the third side, which is going to be short. So if this is, I probably have 5 feet of rope left after tying all the knots. So it's probably, 2 feet on either side and then 1 foot in between them. I'm using the kitchen twine to tie it on to the wooden dowels just because it's a lot easier to tie a tight knot with a skinny piece of twine. So I'm going to do the square knot again, wrap it around that big loop, make a loop, pull the end through, crisscross the strings, make a loop, pull it through. And then when I tie it to the dowel, the first thing I'm going to do is wrap it around the dowel 2 times and then tie a knot. Instead of just wrapping it around once, if you wrap it around 2 or 3 times, it's going to secure it a little bit better and it shouldn't slide off so much. But again, if you're worried about it slipping, a few drops of clear nail polish will do a pretty nice job of holding it for you. So there is the basic bubble wand, and this picture will let you see what it looks like in action. There's basically a big triangle hanging down from 2 sticks, and when you dip it in the solution, most of the bubbles are just going to be created by whatever breeze is passing by. So now it's your job to go outside and have a good time. One of the great things about this project is going to be the photos that you get. So make sure when you go to blow those bubbles, you've got someone whose job it is to take pictures because they should come out pretty fantastic.